Future Now Show. Brought to you by the Club of Amsterdam.
Hi, I'm Mustafa Chaudhry, a technology expert at Prisma Analytics, and I'm talking with our director, F Schloer, and we're going to be discussing disruptive technologies and their impact going forward.
Brands are becoming less and less important. The sensitivity of consumers towards brands is over. Marketing is less and less effective. People don't care unless it is a certain category and is obviously ladies still like, nice designer clothes or this or that, But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about in general major brands, The burger you eat, do you really care it's McDonald's or it's Burger King or what? What you really care is that you have a particular product with a particular specification, a particular type that has whatever it is that you want. So the business to customer, customer to customer, business to business, business to government, government to citizen, all of these relationships, they are eroding. What will be in place is an intelligent, electronic, and completely self-defining and evolving marketplace, which absorbs under a standard all of the products and services and communicates with all of its consumers so that it mitigates within its influence. Okay, there are 496 people that are looking for that kind of product with that kind of feature, which could be manufactured over here. So the marketplace will begin to actually summarize, negotiate, fill up containers amongst many different needed that need logistical services and so on. All of that will be automation under this intelligent mesh. And because we have that intelligent mesh growing faster and faster, it will also absorb the marketplace. It will absorb all of the ways in how we buy and sell things. So we no longer will look for someone who sells us a particular product. We tell the marketplace. And the marketplace will be the most efficient to give us exactly what we want, at exactly the price we want it, at exactly the quality and quantity that we are seeking. And we are not having to hope that someone is fulfilling what we want and, oh, it wasn't what I really wanted, let's go to the next one and so on. All of that will change here very quickly.
What you just do, back up what you just said, but modern commerce, in fact, the arguments that the entire marketing and advertising industry is a result of imperfect information, which we're moving away from because of the data available to us now and the means to actually analyze it and create value out of it.
Exactly. And the system and the systemic thinking that these new technologies actually bring upon people, we actually begin to see marketing in the same way as we treat fake news and fake facts. We are really offended by people creating some facts and then deploy them. Well, we've been doing that for years in marketing and advertisement, where we claim certain features, if you sit on a horse, and smoke a Marlboro, you feel free and you be one macho guy and whatever, these kind of ideas, they are no longer in what people really want, and people actually going to reject advertisement and marketing just like they reject fake news and fake facts. And the only reason why fake news and fake facts or post-truths or whatever they all call it, why we even talk about that today is because there is an awareness about it. Not because it suddenly exists. It existed for a long time. But now we're becoming aware about it and we begin to reject it. And we begin to revolt against it. And that is why we begin to less and less believe marketing, advertisement, and all of these things. And we are moving towards marketplaces that are neutral, that are not invested in anyone's consumption or production, but that make micro payments on just moving stuff and in the most efficient way, in the most acceptable way, so as the old world was, we make a product, we do a lot of marketing and advertisement, and with that we creating a need in the market. Now it exactly reverses in these electronic all-encompassing marketplaces, where the consumer has a want, a need, and he tells it to the marketplace, and the marketplace will tell the manufacturer what to make, and the service provider what services are needed. And so the whole relationship, information flow is actually flowing backwards.
We're seeing technology being implemented at every single point of a transaction, whether you and I go to a burger, we order a restaurant. These days you can walk into McDonald's on 3 continents and either order a burger at the counter or have it delivered to you without ever dealing with a human. All the technology we've talked about so far has been a separate entity, but we're seeing more and more of it come into us. How far away are we from half man, half machine, and what are the implications of this? Because we've discussed several of the biases and the negative things that we've created as a society. Will technology help or eradicate these issues?
This device here, it was meant to be just so I can talk to you when you and I are not in the same room. We don't even use it anymore to talk to each other. Most of our communication that we do, we type messages, we type emotions, we dare to say things on a messenger we wouldn't dare to say to each other in person. That's a fact. We're much braver in interacting with this thing than to interact human to human. Spending time with my friends today is much less going together into some bar and having a drink together, and it's much more sitting at home on my couch and being on Facebook and chatting with all kinds of people. Your information you get from here, you control the temperature of your house from here, you do everything from here. You pay your bills, you look at your bank statements, and there's every day new apps that connect some element of life, whether it's to book something, to buy something, to consume something, to change something, to control something, to whatever it is, whatever to communicate, to whatever. It is going through this device here. And because, I mean, just look at people, how they clutch their phones, you know. They are in absolute panic when their phone suddenly has no more charge. They need to immediately go and run and plug it back in. It's almost like they need to plug themselves back in or they don't exist. No? I mean, you shut your phone off, people get nervous. You know, oh my God, some of my friends can reach me. You know, I mean, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, I need to be available. I need to always have connection. That's what people think and feel now. So this has, although it still is a external device, it has not become part of us yet. But we have this intimate relationship with that thing that we actually have already incorporated in who we are. And if you don't have WhatsApp or Skype and email in a cell phone today, you know what? You can't. I mean, you cannot even use many services. You cannot even book a ticket unless you have a cell phone or an email. I mean, the first thing people ask you is, "What is your email?" You know, it's almost like they ask you, "What's your name?" You know, what, you don't have a name? Well, if you don't have a name, you don't exist. You know, so these things are although they are still integrated in a way that is external of us, give it 5 more years and they will not be. The idea, for example, to take chips and address with electromagnetic waves certain elements in your brain in order to achieve certain things, you know, are becoming now mainstream. I give you one example. If you have a horrific experience, you had some experience in life about a particular thing. The way you can eradicate that now, and we have a lot of science data now that proves that because it's tested and so on. There's a certain area in your brain that is addressed, and we're going to ask you to think about that particular thing that really bothers you. And while you think about it, we give you a electromagnetic interaction with your brain. But we keep on doing it a couple of times. After one session, you have removed most of the horrific experience, and you might remember it, but it doesn't bother you anymore. It is not raising, you know, in your conscience. Well, that's pretty interactive already. Now the next step is that we are becoming chipped ourselves. In terms of hardware, we are already replacing pieces of our body. You know, we can do all kinds of things, and we can now grow. I mean, we have the technology now to do it, and soon we will probably do that in a commercial environment. We grow your heart, your liver, your kidneys, whatever outside of your body, and replacing it, you know. Yeah, that's an artificial something, you know. So you see, technology does not have to be necessarily something hard and shiny and has some chrome and metal. It can be something soft, you know, that we're just implanting inside you. We are changing very fast. We very much shaped by this technology and shaped by these networks and shaped by this real-time interactiveness with information, with analyzed information, and so on.